All right. G'day, fellas. So I've been working on a little bit of a Lich build. Hopefully this build will perform pretty well. It seems like it will. We'll go over just what we're doing with the gear first, and then we'll go into skills and talents. Um, so for the gear, we've got on the Mantle of the Pale Ox for the damage reduction, like splits damage to your minion. And then we're using these boots to create a minion. So when Flay kills an enemy or hits a boss, it has a 6% chance to summon a skeleton. So that's how we're summoning our minions, just by using our Flay skill. So that should work quite well. As a defensive layer. On top of that defensive layer, we've got the seed on. Just a really, really strong defensive item. I'm sure you guys have seen it in many builds. Two red rings, obviously, just if you don't have red rings, which we won't at the start, just get something with some spell power or melee spell power. Maybe patch up your resistances and get some dexterity. You should be good. Grab this amulet, just +2, plus some resists and other stuff. Alright. This dagger is a really nice dagger. So we're going to roll it with the increased melee attack speed. It gives 4 levels to dexterity skills. It gives up to 16 dexterity, 1% increased movement speed per 10 dexterity, up to 10% just flat increased move speed, gain haste for 1 second on hit, and 40% penetration against all resistances. This dagger is insane. And we want to use an axe and a dagger in the build, so perfect. Moving on to the other weapon, another new one. So the main reason we're using this is this build is going to scale a lot of its damage via max mana. So this weapon gives us 4% increased mana whenever we activate Spirit Battery. And Spirit Battery will be activated when we kill an enemy or we hit a rare boss. And that can happen 3 times every 2 seconds. So we can get 4% mana 3 times every 2 seconds. And that's 4% max mana. So it increases our pool, further increasing the damage we do with max mana, blah, blah, blah. It also increases the damage of our Chaos Bolt by quite a lot. Gives us some flat crit chance, which is really nice. And then on top of that, we do have a chance at later on, so something I want to test when the game's live, not right now, is maybe dropping Marrow Shard for harvest, and then try and make use of the great harvest bonuses towards the bottom of this weapon. But I'm unsure about that skill and how it will work, so I'm leaving that until I get to play the character. Alright, I'm going the safe route at the moment. I've picked up the Shattered Chain at the moment just because it has a lot of melee damage on it. That's pretty much it. You can pretty much pick whatever belt you want. There are lots of good options. Grasp of the Blood Mage, chance to apply bleed on spell hit. We are a bleed build. We get life leech as well. So just perfect gloves for this build. Followed by Shattered Worlds, immune to slow. You have haste always. Critical strike chance, 10 to attributes, 100% increased efficiency of frenzy, and 1 to all skill levels. Now, I would probably like to roll like a max mana roll on this item, but, wherever you can fit max mana in this build, try and do it. Maybe in idols and whatever. Alright, let's move on to the current passive tree. This is a work in progress. I've sent this out to a bunch of my mates, and I'm like, look over it, figure out what do we want to change. So anyone has any ideas, let me know. At the moment, we're just maxing out this for the damage, maxing out this for the necrotic res, and maxing out this for the vitality. Oh, not maxing out this, getting 4 points in this for 4 vitality. Okay, and that's it. That's all we're grabbing in here. I might end up getting rid of this and coming down here. Maybe we can do some ward shenanigans at some point. I'm not 100% sure. And then jump over into Warlock. 5 points into Spiteful Decay. 5 points into Cauldron of Blood. Now this skill is very good. The reason we want 5 points into it is because it unlocks the node when you cast a physical skill. An enemy within 15 meters that have a combined 25 or more stacks of bleed, you cast Rip Blood at up to 5 nearby enemies. So it's an automatic Rip Blood cast as long as there's a bunch of bleeding targets around you. Okay, and then this also furthermore unlocks Chaos Bolt for us. All right, so moving on. Grab 7 points into here for the int and the mana regen. Grab 6 points into here for the health and the spell leech. We grab 5 points into here for the increased melee damage and dexterity. We grab 5 points in here for the vitality and the increased health regen per vitality. We grab increased damage here, current health drain per second, 8%. Okay. We grab this, physical penetration, necrotic, poison pen. We grab this. Yeah, we don't want 2 points in this because we don't want the health and ward cannot exceed a max of 50%. We just wanted to be able to get to here. Damage over time taken bypasses ward, so your dots will hit bosses through their ward shields, which is going to be quite nice. We take this, so now we can dual wield as a Lich. We'll take this, increase damage over time, and damage over time leeched as health. More damage over time per 7% current health drain. Then we grab some critical strike chance, attack speed, some crit multi granted as ward on crit. Increase attack speed and move speed and some more leech. Increase spell damage without a shield. We're not running a shield. 20 int current health drain per second, 10%. Missing health gained as ward per second, 5%. Increased melee critical strike chance, 40%. Ward gained on dodge, 20. Okay. And then that's that. So we shall now head on over to the skills. So starting off, let's go over Flay. So for Flay, starting at 0, we want to go all the way down here to grab the Chaos Bolt proc. So we come down here, grab a few points in here because, read this node, Flay and all skills triggered by its skill tree deal more damage per 100 maximum mana. So this is where we're getting that mana stacking damage bonus, okay? So this is where more mana means more damage. That's why we're using the main hand we're currently using. And then directly using Flay and hitting at least one enemy with a melee attack has a chance per 1 maximum mana to release a Chaos Bolt towards an enemy. So Chaos Bolt chance per 1 max mana equals 1. 1%. So if we have 200 mana, that means there is a 200% chance to shoot Chaos Bolt. Right? And so on. So as you can read here, for example, if you have 250 maximum mana, you will release 2 Chaos Bolts with a 50% chance for a third. So for every 100 mana, you release 1 Chaos Bolt. This is going to get crazy, especially if we have like 1,000 mana. We're going to be shooting out 10 Chaos Bolts. This is going to be so fun. Oh my gosh. And then we further on, we move down this little southern tree, flushing out a few more points up here with some more attack speed with daggers. We do have a dagger. We come down here and we grab Marrow, Nora. So Flay has Additional critical strike multiplier. Critical hits at least one enemy with Flay melee attack has a chance to release Marrow shards towards nearby enemies within 6 meters. Okay, so now we've got Marrow shards automatically firing as well, and they cost health. So let's head on over into Marrow shards. Here's Marrow shards. So Marrow shards is more of a utility. As you come down here, it gives more bleed chance. Marrow orb chance 20%. Marrow orbs health gained 15. Okay. Marrow shard hits have a higher chance to create orbs by an additional 20%, so 40% chance to create the orbs. And then the orbs also give us back 15 mana. So that's just mana regen for us out the wazoo. We should get quite a lot. Marrow orbs return more health, so that's another 21 health on the 15 health. Just more healing in general. Then we come down here, we grab more hit damage. We come down here, base crit chance, crit multi, and more crit multi. Okay. So all in all, this is just a great utility skill. It should give us a lot of healing, a lot of mana. Yeah. And should hit pretty hard too. Moving on to Chaos Bolt. So for the Chaos Bolt tree, we come up here, we grab Ignite Chance, Cold, and then Chill. We grab this down here, hit damage to bleeding, blah, blah, blah. More cast speed, projectile, chance for increased area, extra projectiles, +4. So this is going to get insane. The mana cost might not be worth it, so we'll be testing this out. But I think we're going to have enough mana. So if this works, each Chaos Bolt can project an extra 4 projectiles, and we get to 1,000 mana. So 1,000 mana, that means whenever we proc Chaos Bolt, it's going to cast 10 Chaos Bolts that do 4 extra projectiles per Chaos Bolt. Oh my gosh, it's going to be insane. All right. Chance to consume mana, 39%. And only one big bolt. Chaos Bolt no longer shoots multiple projectiles, but now instead shoots one large projectile, causing it to deal more damage multiplicatively with other multipliers in a large area. This effect scales with the amount of projectiles Chaos Bolt would have shot. Okay. And then I am just testing this out just for fun. Coming down here and grabbing chance for harvest, 1 dexterity. We do get a lot of dexterity in this build. Yeah. So what have we done? So we've done all those. Now we're just on the last one, the aura. So first things first, I would probably come up straight up northeast. We'll grab 1 point in slow, 4 points in armor shred, and then 1 point in blood font. This converts our aura into a bleed aura, so it will make all the targets bleed around us. So if you remember, the Rip Blood will cast when there are 25 bleed stacks in our vicinity. This is just going to apply bleed stacks to everything around us. So this will work great. Grab more ailment frequency, poison damage taken. So this all gets converted to bleed. So poison nova chance, this will be a bleed nova. Additional limit per 3 seconds +2. Plague chance with the 10% damage multiplier. And aura size by 75%. Okay. And that is the current build. Now, there are some changes that I'm looking at now. Obviously, there is a lot of health leech in this build, a lot of health absorb. So I am looking at the ward nodes like this. Current health drain per second, 10%. Missing health gained as ward per second, 5%. I am looking at maybe leaning further into the ward gain. which means we might swap some gear over and go into a ward build. Or we might just remove some of these points and reallocate them and go for a health build with just pure life leech. But these are things I need to test out when we're running the build in-game and see how it feels, you know. So this is what I'm going to go with at the start, the first time run through, and I will adjust it as I go. This build and the link for this build will be updated as I play the build, so don't feel like that it will be outdated. It should be updated as long as I can keep up pace with you guys. This will be my second build for the season, not my first. My first will be my Abomination build with Eternal Arrow. But feel free to try this out, or if you've got any better ideas for this build, drop them in the comments. Go in the description, join my Discord, come in the Discord, go in the build channel. Tell me some things that you saw that don't quite add up, things you think I could improve on. That would be great. Like, all input is very welcome, because it's very easy to make mistakes while making these builds, especially when we don't have our hands on the game just yet. So, after all that said and done, like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys when I go live on the 21st. Peace.